Today's stories are taken from r/paranormal. My cat sees something I don't. Posted by u/Fae of the Night. So I have two male cats, an orange tabby named Bo and a tux named Shaggy. This story is about Shaggy. So we adopted him around 3 years ago when he was a kitten, and he's always been sweet and aloof, the kind of cat that stares off into space and gets easily startled. But I'm starting to think he's not just staring into empty space. 2 years ago I was sitting at my dad's desk in the basement, typing up an essay for my English class. The office room has no door, so from the chair I can look directly into the adjacent storage and boiler room. I looked up to see two glowing eyes staring right at me. Almost gave me a heart attack until I realized it was just Shaggy, sitting on the water heater. I could tell he'd been there for a while, staring at me while I was typing. I looked back periodically, but he never broke his gaze or moved a whisker. It sent chills down my spine, like he was looking right through me. I wouldn't have brought it up if he hadn't done the same thing about a month ago, only this time he was perched on the arm of my mom's couch. Different house, my parents split and mom got her own place, taking the cats with her. Again, pitch black and glowing eyes. I was getting myself a late night snack before going back to my room down the stairs. I came back and he was still there in the exact same position. I walked back and forth out of his line of sight, and sure enough he was staring right through me. Same chilling feeling. Jump back a bit in time. We were just moving into the new house, so bins were stacked in the basement near a storage closet. My bedroom is directly across from this closet. It's nighttime and I'm sitting on my bed watching YouTube when Shaggy starts pawing and meowing at the bins. I assume he found a spider or a mouse, so I brushed it off. Then he jumped onto the bins and started scrabbling at the ceiling, still meowing loudly. I get up to see what he's looking at, and sure enough nothing's there. I pick him up and set him back on the ground, but he just goes back and continues conversing with the ceiling. This went on for a good 10 to 15 minutes. He sometimes sits outside that closet and meows at it, like there's something inside and he wants to go in. I can't help but feel like there's something off about that closet. How to put it, it just gives off that vibe, I guess. Of course all of this is speculation and could be chalked off to a goofy cat, but I can't help but feel Shaggy is seeing something I can't. I experienced a possible haunting in my old home, that still scares me to this day. Posted by u/Mama Comic. Encounter 1. I was maybe 6 or 7, it was raining, and I had woken up in the middle of the night, for what reason I don't remember. I left my room, and on my way to the stairs glanced briefly into my grandfather's den/study. I saw what I assumed was him sitting at the computer, the chair facing the monitor. I stopped at the stairwell and went back to the room. Not even a full second had passed. But the room was empty, the computer was off and the chair faced the door. Encounter 2. This happened much later in life, only 2 or 3 years before we moved out. I was maybe 16 to 17. It was broad daylight, and I was home alone. I was sitting downstairs when I started hearing thumping upstairs, from my grandparents' bedroom. It sounded like drawers being opened and closed, and heavy footsteps like someone was going through things. I left the house and called the police, assuming there was an intruder, but the police found no evidence of a break-in, no intruders, and nothing had been moved. Encounter 3. It happened a few days after the above. Again, in broad daylight. I was seated in the kitchen, and heard what sounded like a pebble hit the glass window in the laundry room. I went to investigate, but found nothing out of the ordinary. I heard it again before I left the room, this time from the kitchen window. I went outside to see what was going on, and heard it again. But this time it came from inside the house. Encounter 4. This one still scares me, horribly, and I don't know what to make of it. I'm hoping you all can help me debunk it entirely. I was sitting in the foyer, on my phone. I happened to look up at the hallway that connects to the kitchen, bathroom, laundry room and the garage. And I swear, I saw something staring at me from that hallway, big and pitch black. It was using one arm to brace itself against the wall, and leaned out from the laundry room. I was too afraid to move, and just stared until it leaned completely back into the room. I don't know if I imagined it. It was late at night, sometime after midnight. Encounter 5. This was the last time I ever left my room at night in that house. I was sitting in the same spot as the above recollection, and was again on my phone. My dog was beside me. She began to growl, and was staring at the entrance to the house. Mind you, at the time we only had a dog. A small poodle, who was seated beside me. I didn't see anything, but out of curiosity I took a photo. What I saw when I looked back at my phone made me want to cry, and I ran up the stairs and locked my bedroom door. It's worth noting that there is a backpack in the corner where the alleged apparition is, however there is nothing actually reflective on the pack. It's actually hanging behind me on the door, and I have taken photos of it at all lightings and angles in an attempt to recreate what happened. I could not. We no longer live in the house. I'm glad we don't. If anyone has explanations for all of this, especially the photo, I would be deeply appreciative. To those asking for pictures of the bag, here it is, and the sweatshirt, as well as the conversation I was having at the time the picture was taken. DL, Doctor, I heard something in my car and then in my living room something grabbed me. Posted by you/some person. So some background. This happened my sophomore year of university. I had a nasty sexual assault case going on at my university, and my anxiety went through the roof. My doctor went through a test with me. My mother wanted to be in the room, though, so I lessened all my symptoms like an idiot, and I was diagnosed with minor depression and anxiety. The medication I was on wasn't helping my anxiety, but it was worsening my depression. Every time I went to the doctor, my dose was upped. It got to the point I didn't feel anything or care, and I had a moment a bit before Christmas where I took myself off the medication. I only mention this because my medication said a side effect was hallucinations. My doc said the only side effect was weight gain. I lost weight BTW, but that was on the bottle. I don't think I had any symptoms besides the worsening of my depression, but it's hard to tell. 5 days after I took myself off the medication, I was in the car. It was dark, not because it was late, but because winter is dark here by 6 or 7. I think it was around 8. My mother ran into Sam's Club for something fast, and I stayed with the service dog in the car. He was a puppy in training for an organization, and I think he was 5 months by then. The service puppy, his name is Keon, was fearless. Literally, nothing scared him, even if it should. But while I was in the car, I got this bad feeling. Then Keon, who I have never heard cry before or after this event, began whining. Then there was a scratching on the floorboard. Keon was in a fabric kennel in the back where there wasn't a floorboard to scratch. Then I got this feeling that something was behind me. I kinda sat there and actively did not look behind me. About 30 seconds later, the feeling went away, the scratching stopped, and Keon stopped crying. I was confused, but a moment later the car unlocked and my mother got in. She was and still is a very devout Christian. I assumed it was something about that. Or I was crazy. Probably crazy. That's why I checked the anxiety meds bottle. I was 5 days off the meds, but I figured I still might have effects or something. 2 months later, I was sleeping in my living room. My cat was in my lap, we sleep together every night, and I was dozing to YouTube videos. It was probably around 2 a.m. Then I got that same feeling that something was there. I was beyond scared, and my chest was really tight. My cat woke up out of a dead sleep and ran upstairs. He paced at the top, waiting for me, but I was too scared to get up. There was a light next to me, but I would have had to stand up to get to it. It took me a minute to calm down enough, but I turned on the light. Nothing there. After a half an hour, I convinced myself I was being paranoid. I turned off the light and went to sleep. I got a bad feeling again later, no idea what time, and woke up but only partly. I couldn't get comfortable, I was anxious, exhausted, and I kept feeling my foot going off the ledge, no matter how often I tried to stop it. I tucked my feet up at one point, and it felt like a hand grabbed my foot. If I were more awake, I would have panicked. But instead, I just tucked my foot back up. After a couple minutes, I turned the light on. Soon enough, the feeling died down. I turned off the light and went to sleep. I was going to put it down to a dream or a nightmare. I used to get them constantly, but in the morning I noticed my foot was red and there were bruises where the thumb and some of the fingers would have been if I had been grabbed. I tried it against my hand, but it was bigger than my hand. I have small hands lol. Freaked me out pretty bad. My foot healed in a couple days, and the feeling never returned. Weird, though. Had my first spirit sighting. Posted by you/chimney Mimi. My apartment building is old and I've always gotten weird vibes when I'm alone, so it's almost like I knew without knowing that we have spirits that roam the building. I have had many encounters when I was young, but I never physically saw anything until yesterday. Recently I have been feeling the energy more, but yesterday we were on the couch watching, of course, a scary movie. My glasses are usually dirty, so I've thought that I've seen something before and it's usually just a smudge on my glasses, but this time I knew it wasn't. I was laying on the couch when out of the corner of my eye, where my glasses don't reach, I saw a faint white shadow glide slowly from one room to our bathroom. It was like a see-through blanket just gliding. I initially didn't react, but my heart was racing and of course I had to use the bathroom lol. Before I could get up to use the bathroom, I saw a quick movement back from the bathroom to the same room, but so quick I almost think it didn't actually happen, but I felt calm and I didn't feel like it was a bad presence. I know that someone died of old age here long ago, but I feel like this building always has some wild energy all over it. So many men here have gotten violent and I'm not sure if it's because of the spirits here or because they just suck, but I've been in the shower after fighting with my partner and I could just feel something on the other side of my shower curtain feeding off my bad energy. Scariest thing ever. I eventually envisioned a light inside of me protecting me, and when I projected it out my speaker fell off the toilet and scared the crap out of me, lol. I chalk it up to the vibrations of the speaker slowly knocking it down, but man, that was intense. Golden child skipping through grandparents' backyard. Posted by u/mrjljc. This happened to me when I was around 12 and I still get absolute chills thinking about it. I was sitting in the backyard of my grandparents' house. All my family were inside. From around the side of the house, a child began skipping past me, right in front of me, probably about 3 meters away. This child was see-through, although had a bubble-like appearance. It had a golden outline, and I still remember the detail of the outline between its fingers. It skipped away and slowly faded. I went back inside, very confused. I told my mom later that night before bed, and she mentioned she's had many paranormal experiences in my grandparents' house. My grandparents did lose a child at a young age, so I always thought it could have been her. Another weird thing about it all was the figure skipped in a way that was identical to my sister. She was only a child at this point too. Could I have witnessed some form of shadow of a memory, or possibly a parallel universe overlapping with ours where my sister was skipping? No matter what it was, I'll never forget it. Glitch, paranormal, or a 12-year-old's brain playing tricks?
Thanks for watching. Please do like, share, comment and subscribe for more videos.